In this video, I will discuss and examine the most common red flags that indicate infidelity is occurring and how you can recognize these signs before it's too late. So you think you know your partner. You think you understand their thoughts. You think you know their deepest desires. But what if there's a side of them you've never seen? The first thing we need to discuss is the rise in digital infidelity. This is oftentimes referred to as emotional infidelity too. The rise of dating apps, social media, and meetup apps, and everything else out there has created new avenues for cheating and infidelity. It is so easy now for someone to start just looking for someone they knew in the past, or see if they can find a friend that really does understand them. And even though many times these things start out seemingly innocent, they can turn disastrous to their marriage or other relationships very quickly. It just quickly becomes a downward spiral they never saw coming, and they never know they're in it until it is too late. You see, the anonymity and ease of access to potential partners online can make it easier for people to cheat in today's ever-evolving technological world, with all of the increased accessibility to online platforms and devices. When a client isn't sure, I usually start by asking them if they have started seeing some of these subtle behavioral changes. Has there been sudden increases in secrecy? Does it look or feel like they are keeping information from you? A good sign to watch for is the overprotectiveness of their electronic devices like phones, tablets, and laptops. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. Did they used to just leave their phone sitting on the coffee table when you're watching TV, but now they hold on to it tightly, leave it in a pocket, or even shut it off during those one-on-one moments you have? These actions beg the question, why? What are they hiding? What do they not want you to see? And who might be contacting them that they don't want you to know about? Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a for sure way to tell if they are cheating. There could be many other reasons they do this. They might be waiting for a call from a family member, or work, or some other legitimate reason. They may turn their phone off so it isn't a distraction, but it is an early warning sign you will want to take note of. Hiding their social media account is another big clue too. I have many clients tell me that suddenly their wife or their husband, their significant other, has locked down their Facebook page. When they inquire about it, they are told, "Oh, it's a security thing. I can change that so you can have access." Then when they do change it, they only give them access to some things, some posts, some pictures. Again, not a guaranteed clue that infidelity is occurring, but it is a red flag to watch out for, to be sure. One clue I see a lot is changes in work schedules. Suddenly the spouse is working later into the evenings or going early in the mornings. But even though they are working more hours, their paycheck doesn't reflect those extra hours. Sudden and frequent business trips are also something that should be scrutinized. Now, I know a lot of people travel for work and for business. I used to travel all the time. I would be on airplanes and staying in hotels 3 to 5 days a week. That was just part of my job. But if this is an all of a sudden thing without a position change or a promotion, it is one of those things you might want to make note of. You also want to take notice of sudden shifts in their behavior, such as being more withdrawn, more defensive, or more irritable. Do they become defensive and enraged when you question them? For the most part, the average person might be taken back, offended even, if someone is questioning their actions. But the guilty person, the individual trying to hide something, will almost always get mad and find a need to defend themselves. Now, a tough topic for me to discuss with my clients involves the signs of emotional distancing. Has there been a sudden loss of interest in intimacy in the relationship by their spouse? Again, not a definitive sign to be sure, but oftentimes, if an affair is occurring, the guilty party is having their intimate needs satisfied by someone else. And watch out for declines in communications from your spouse too. Did they used to always text you when they got to places they were going and text you when they were on their way home, but now it's just a goodbye when they leave and a hello when they get back? Or maybe they used to text or call during their lunch break, but now it is radio silent all day long. And one I have heard a lot is when he or she usually calls when they're coming home from work. But if they are working late, the client only gets a text around the time they would be getting off and then never hear from them until they get home later that night. And then they never want to talk about work, their day, or anything else for that matter. They are just tired and need to rest and go to bed. This is closely tied to the lack of sharing experiences red flag that we often hear about. Did your spouse used to always tell you about the drama at work or what is going on with their family, and now there is no discussions of that nature? A lot of these red flags can easily lead to feeling emotionally disconnected from your spouse or partner. This is just natural, but it is also a red flag you need to watch out for with yourself. Then there are the financial red flags that you must keep an eye out for too. Are there sudden and frequent unexplained expenses or withdrawals from bank accounts? Are there suddenly new bills that are being auto-paid, like a bill for a different phone carrier? This is common to see when a cheating spouse goes out and gets themselves a new phone on their own account to communicate with their other partner. Now, that doesn't happen often, but it can. What usually will happen, they will get a burner phone or a pay-as-you-go phone and use it for those secret communications. Burner phones are very hard to trace back to someone as they are not subscribed to an account, as they just buy phone cards to keep it going. So unless they use that phone number for some other type of account, it is unlikely to ever be known to be associated with them. And keep an eye out for things like new clothing, jewelry, and electronics. Are they buying the stuff, or is someone else buying it for them? Either way, it can be a sign, a red flag that something is amiss, to be sure. Any sudden changes in spending habits could be a red flag. Do they suddenly have less money for groceries and other household expenses? I have had many clients that said this was one of their first suspicions. Their wife was in charge of the household expenses, paying the bills, buying the groceries, and all that jazz. Then suddenly, towards the end of each month, they had started having shortfalls and had to transfer money from savings or other accounts they had. One thing we have seen a lot of in cases where a cheating spouse moved out of their marital house and into a home with their other partner is when they started using the money for bills to finance their new life. Then after they leave, well, the lights, gas, water, and other utilities, as well as mortgage, auto, and other payments all go in arrears. Now their spouse has to try to catch up and struggle, not only with a looming separation and divorce, but they have to try to fix all of the financial chaos that is ensuing. So what can you do if you start seeing all of these red flags? The first thing is to seek professional help. I am not just talking about talking to an attorney, although that very well may be necessary. You may very well also benefit from speaking with a therapist or a counselor that can help you navigate the emotional turmoil you're going through. And yes, you probably need to seek legal advice to help you navigate the legal side of things too. If you just let it go, try to ride the storm out, you are truly putting yourself at risk, as there is a lot that can go wrong today in those legal battles. And the big question I get asked all the time is whether I should hire a private investigator to find out what is going on. And the simple answer to that question is it all depends. I often tell my clients to discuss this first with their attorney so they know and we know what the attorney might hope to gain by having a PI investigate the situation. Yes, we can go out and do some surveillance, and yes, we may be able to prove infidelity, but is that going to be helpful or harmful in the case? Many states now are no-fault divorce states, and infidelity does not play much, if at all, of a role in a judge's decision over the divorce, splitting up the assets, and even involving child custody.